Stock market dips, rising costs, layoffs. There's a lot of uncertainty in the economy right now, and with unexpected expenses hitting harder than ever, building an emergency fund isn't optional, it's essential. I've lived through financial emergencies without a safety net, and I'll never go back to that feeling. I'm Rose Colburn, and welcome to the 30-Day Budgeting Challenge, where I'm giving you one quick tip every day to help you take control of your money. Let's talk about what actually happens when life shows up and you don't have an emergency fund in place. Your car breaks down. You get hit with a medical bill. Your pet gets sick. You lose hours at work. And suddenly it's like, boom, your whole budget goes up in flames. It feels like you're trying to put out fires with a gas can. And I've been there. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. When the pandemic hit in 2020, my income dried up almost overnight, just like everybody else's did. No new clients were coming in, and I was already behind, already stretched thin, and I didn't have a safety net. Too many life circumstances that had nothing to do with COVID had drained my savings the previous year, and I had been slowly rebuilding it, but the unexpected hit before I had a chance to have anything to fall back on. And let me tell you, there is a very real and specific kind of stress that comes from staring at a bill, knowing you can't pay it, and knowing you have no clue what to do next. But it wasn't always that way. Back in 2008, during that economic collapse, I had an emergency fund. I had just enough tucked away to survive after I lost every single one of my clients in one day. And that little cushion, it brought me time. It gave me sanity. It helped me figure out my next move without panicking. And I'm not the only one who's been through that kind of financial shock. That's why I'm so passionate about this, because I know what it's like on both sides, to fall hard without a net and to land on something soft because you planned ahead. But here's something surprising. According to Bankrate's annual emergency savings report, about 1 in every 5 households don't have any emergency savings at all. And that number has held steady for years. If saving for emergencies was some obscure strategy like investing in crypto hedgehogs or whatever, sure, it would make sense that people wouldn't know about it. But this, saving for an emergency fund, we've all heard of emergency funds. People know they should have one. So why don't more people actually do it? The truth is, you don't need a perfect budget. You don't need 10 spreadsheets and budget categories highlighted in all sorts of pretty colors. What you really need is just some space, a buffer between you and life's chaos, and that's what an emergency fund is for. I teach this as a freedom fund in my coaching program because it's not just about surviving, it's about reclaiming your sense of peace, your power, and your options. So for this video, I'm going to use both terms. There's a few differences between them, but the core purpose is the same. Your freedom fund is your emergency fund. It's the foundation that gives you breathing room when everything else seems to fall apart. It's the difference between, what am I going to do, to, okay, I've got this. So with all that being said, why don't more people create their own savings, their emergency fund, their freedom fund? Here's a reason why so many people don't build their emergency funds, even when they know they should. Some of them, they think they can't save unless they have extra money. It only counts if it's $1,000 or more, right? Others, they're stuck in survival mode, and every dollar is spoken for the minute it comes in. And some people honestly feel like saving is pointless because every time they do save, something comes along and wipes it out. And I get it because I've lived through all of that. I think the last one was especially difficult for me to get past. It just felt like the universe was against me. I would start my small freedom fund buffer, my emergency savings, and I would get something like $500, maybe $600 saved up, and bam, I'd get an unexpected expense for $1,000. Like, what the hell is up with that? I'll admit, I stopped and started building my own savings so many times while I was living through that. But here's what I've learned, especially after living through so many financial storms with and without a safety net. Your emergency fund doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist. even if you only have $500 saved up and end up with a $1,000 expense. I know it sucks, but just think of it this way. You have half of what you need and you only have to figure out how to get the other half. And I know it can be difficult to figure that part out, but you're further ahead than if you had nothing saved at all, because having something is always better than having nothing. Okay, let me show you this. This umbrella right here, that's your emergency fund. It's your freedom fund and your safety net. It creates the freedom and peace of mind you need to weather whatever storm life throws at you. It doesn't stop the rain, the car repairs, the medical bills, the job loss, the vet bill, your kids' school needing money for a field trip right after your rent was increased. The rain keeps coming, but when you've got that umbrella, you stay dry, you stay grounded, you can breathe. Without it, you're out there in the storm, just getting rained on. You're soaked, you're tired, you're stressed, and you're holding on just barely by a thread. Everything feels so much bigger than it is. A $300 car repair becomes a crisis. A $75 vet bill derails your entire week. And it's not because you're bad with money. It's because you had nothing to catch you when life hit. That's what a freedom fund is all about. It's a tool for reclaiming your peace, your stability, and your dignity in your finances. It's your personal safety net, your calm in the chaos account. It gives you breathing room. You don't have to spiral every time life throws a surprise your way. You get to say, I got this, because you already prepared for moments like this. So here's your challenge for today. Start building your freedom fund, your umbrella, your safety net. But the question you might have is, where exactly do you start, especially when everything already feels stressed? First, let's drop the idea that your emergency fund has to be $1,000 right out of the gate. Start with 50 or 20. Heck, start with $5 if that's all you can manage right now. The goal isn't to build this big, beautiful, perfect emergency fund overnight. It's to build momentum. And the best way to do that is to make it visual, make it real. Open a separate savings account, preferably in a high yield savings account, and make your first deposit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Then automate a small transfer weekly, bi-weekly, whatever fits. Even if it's just $5 until things are more stable for you. And here's the key. Protect it. Your freedom fund isn't your, oops, overspent this week. Oh, well, borrow. It's not your, I really want takeout stash. It's your calm in the chaos account. It's your freedom fund. But sometimes you're just stuck and not able to get started. And if that's where you are right now, watch this video next. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for the next video in the 30-day budgeting challenge. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.